Everyone knows therapy is great for solving problems, but getting therapy has its own problems too, like finding the right therapist, fitting into their schedule, and of course, the cost. Well, BetterHelp can solve those problems. It's totally online and built around your schedule. It's surprisingly affordable too. Connect with a credentialed therapist by phone, video, or online chat, all from the comfort of your home. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% on your first month. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P.
Mother's Day is around the corner. Find the perfect gift for the mom in your life with a stunning piece of jewelry from Blue Nile. From timeless pearls to dazzling gemstones, Blue Nile has something she'll adore. Need it fast? Most items can ship overnight. Plus, enjoy guaranteed free shipping and returns. Don't miss our special Mother's Day deals. Save big on the season's most beautiful trends. For a limited time, get up to 50% off by going to BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Hello, I'm Josh Hallam. Welcome back to another Just Films and That new release review. This time around, we're going to be talking about The Fall Guy. So, as with the others, I'll keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but if you don't want to know anything at all, then do make sure you give it a listen after you've seen the film. Anyway, so in terms of the plot, you've probably seen posters and adverts and stuff. It basically follows the escapades of Ryan Gosling's Colt Seavers, he's a leading Hollywood stuntman. He doubles for one of the biggest action stars in the world, and that star mysteriously disappears, and Colt finds himself in over his head trying to get to the bottom of it all, whilst also trying to keep his director / love interest Jodie, played by Emily Blunt, happy, as it's her film they're working on that is spiralling out of control. So, what did I reckon? Well, I went into this one quite excited. If you didn't already know, it's from David Leitch, who's done a few films like Deadpool 2. I think he worked on some of the John Wicks. His last directorial effort was Bullet Train, which I thought was tremendous fun, and a little bit of a throwback to a sort of tongue-in-cheek 90s action film, that sort of vibe. So I was interested to see how he progressed in terms of his career, and having seen the trailer for this and, liking Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, I just wanted big, dumb, switch your brain off fun. And that's pretty much what I got, to be honest with you. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's not flawless. I wouldn't even say it's perhaps as good as Bullet Train. It's not as tight because Bullet Train is so tight in terms of where it's set. It's all set in one location, but that's not what I'm talking about. So anyway, I enjoyed it for the same reasons, in that it does seem to have a real love for classic action films. So, as you might expect with a film of this kind, the action is really, really good. So if you consider David Leitch's films so far, that might go without saying, but the film is a real love letter to stunts and stunt performance and stuff like that. So I think it'd be crime to not draw attention to that, because there's some really great stunts in this, there's some really great action in this, particularly in the second half. And because it is that love letter to the stunt community, the whole thing does have a real meta edge to it, which I think is where a lot of the fun and elements of comedy come from. So it's a little bit like a sort of Tropic Thunder meets a Con Air, with sort of little sprinklings in there of things like Hot Fuzz. I wouldn't say it's as good as any of those, but that's the sort of thing I would say you could compare it to, in a good way, I mean. So yeah, it's basically a film in the vein of something like a Tropic Thunder, but very much in the kind of films it's trying to send up, which is, it is a hard balance to strike in terms of sending stuff up and making a good action film at the same time, but I think it works well. There's definitely a lot of love there, and there's definitely a lot of pastiche in there. A lot of people have said, I think, that this film is very much about how underappreciated the stunt community is, and things like that. There should be a Best Stunt Award, Best Stunt Academy Award, sorry. And I think that's true. It's definitely got that in there, and I definitely agree with, I definitely want to hear the song it's singing in that sense, but there's also a point in there which is about deep fakes and AI and stuff like that, which I thought was a little bit on the nose, but I did think at the end of the day, it's really, really relevant. And if you make it too subtle, people might not get it. So if you know about what's gone on in the industry in Hollywood and stuff, you know about the strikes and stuff like that, then you can see where it's coming from, because that has pretty much affected all of Hollywood's output. But you can definitely feel that love running through the film. And that is, of course, small part, even down to Ryan Gosling, because here he is, almost a year on from Barbie, just still doing his thing, playing that lovable dummy type he's done so well recently. I know he's been interviewed a lot around this film and said things like he's trying to take less dark roles, and I think he's definitely smashing it. He's got the chops to be that leading man, but we also know he's got the chops to be an excellent actor. So he's great in this, and Emily Blunt's good in it as well, and they work really, really well together. In terms of any negatives for the film, there's one or two. It's definitely a film of two halves. Now, I know I said that for Challengers as well last time, a couple of weeks ago, but I promise it's true. The first half of this is a little bit overly heavy with the exposition, and I felt it only really got going in terms of what I wanted and expected and enjoyed from the film in that second half. Now, I don't mind exposition, but it's not really what I was after in this film. So it has those long unedited dialogue scenes where they've allowed the actors to riff a little bit too much. I think it needed to be a little bit tighter. So I think they could have addressed that balance a little bit better, really. I would have liked a bit more exposition as well into terms of how stunt performers are so skilled. So whilst it is that love letter to stunts, I don't think many people know just how skilled stunt performers are. Many of them are experts in multiple disciplines. They are martial artists. They can do other things as well, and they're so skilled. Is the point I'm making. And I think really what we needed was a little bit more of seeing. How is Colt Seavers the best stuntman? Why is he the best? Rather than just showing us stuff. They do show us stuff, and maybe I'm expecting to be spoon-fed a little bit more. But I think if you're going to write that love letter, you've got to say what you love, I guess. I think, yeah, so back to the dialogue point as well, it's almost as though David Leitch is so good at the action side and the stunt side of things. He hasn't quite gotten the dialogue and the more boring stuff, the less sexy stuff right yet. So it feels the pacing's a little bit off in that first half. Could have done with a little bit more editing around the second half and maybe some different exposition beats, as I said. Excuse me. As I said, overall, it's a lot of fun, and that meta edge is accompanied by a real great cheesy soundtrack, which cements the fact for me that this film knows what it is, it knows what it's doing, and it does it pretty well for the most part. As ever, this is just my opinion. Thank you very much for listening. Go out and see it if you fancy that sort of thing that I've mentioned, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio!
Planning for your next trip? Elevate your travel style with Quince. Quince has all the jet-setting essentials you'll want for your next getaway, like European linen, premium luggage options, buttery soft Italian leather bags, and so much more. And is all priced at 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Plus, Quince only works with factories that use safe and ethical manufacturing practices. Pack your bags with high-quality essentials you'll be wearing for vacations to come with Quince. Go to quince.com/pack for free shipping and 365-day returns.